Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Well, it looks like everybody left. S.O. Swanson says, "What's invisible and smells like carrots?" Then he answers, "Rabbit farts." Don S. says, "Hi, Steve." Don S. says, "I have a question. What is a good cheap fodder to grow for quail? Where would you get seeds? I'll be listening." Don, what I use is I order a variety pack sprout seeds, and that's what I feed my quail and my kai both. That's pretty cheap when you order the bulk, and seeds last a long time. Now, from what I see, I guess nobody's in here right now, even though it says we got two people watching. I have a concern today. We have this terrible storm that's already hitting part of the country, and I'm wondering if everybody have all their animals prepared for the winter storm. What options are you doing in case you lose electricity? What options have you done to protect against the extreme cold that's coming in? Well, I hear some of the wind chills can be 30 below zero and things like that. So when people get in here, if anybody has anything to ask about, I'll be glad to try and answer. Nikki James, listening in, working on storm prep. Great, Nikki. So you're not in the area that's already getting it yet, so that's good. I got the rest of the afternoon today that I'm going to be putting plastic on all my windows. I'm taking the exhaust fan out of the quail room, closing that window, and then putting plastic on it to get through this wind and everything that's going to be coming through. Yours is coming in tonight. Mine's supposed to be coming in tomorrow night after we get a flood of rain. Dawn says, "Our storm starts tonight. Tomorrow night, minus 40 degrees with ice and 2 to 4 inches of snow. Women of spirits is blessings, all you beautiful quail people." So, Dawn, I don't know if you heard my answer. Hello, Andy Rabbit. Andy Rabbit says, "Hi, Verna. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Dawn." Cuz says, "I'll be throwing a tarp over the cages during the excessive cold. They'll have to enjoy the darkness." Yeah, it's better to enjoy the darkness than it is to get frozen to death. Woman of Spirits is very cold here. Already supposed to get minus 15 to minus 25 wind chills. Pretty cold here today, right now, even though the sun is out. Women of Spirit, Jan, what state do you live in? Because I'm really nervous about tomorrow night. Indiana, you're already getting it in Indiana? Okay, because I'm in Ohio, southwest Ohio, right by the Kentucky border. So you're not far from me at all. We're supposed to be getting it tomorrow night. And it's warm here right now. It's like 36 degrees. Nikki saying hi to Andy. Andy says that Nikki, I seen your message pop up. I will message you more but no way my rabbit can stay outside. I just block wind from them. John says, if the water freezes, I'll just put out fresh water. Our shelves, we lie prepared for long-term outages, whole house generators, other backups for heat. Living in an apartment, I am at the mercy of the city and the landlord. If I lose heat or electricity, I'm SOL because you're not allowed to have propane space heaters and stuff like that. So the only thing I have is a whole bunch of candles I'll be lighting. Jan says, we're just getting the cold wind chill right now, but not the terrible stuff starting tomorrow. We will get freezing rain and snow, and the winds will pick up, and we will have a terrible wind chill factor. That's what they're saying about us. Cuz said, Mississippi getting it Thursday night. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be coming into us Thursday night. Dawn says, hi, Andy Rabbit. Dawn, wow, Verna, that is horrible. She says, not allowed or not being caught. That's my motto. Ha ha ha. Well, see, my thing is I have a fear of fire. Um, but I will make it safe for candles. There's no ruling against candles. And I do know how to make olive oil lamps. And he says, I have a portable propane, like for barbecue grills, and an infrared heater for backup. I got the jars, and I can use the wire from extra heavy gauge wire that I have for cages. I can end up making wire for that. Andy Bailey says, good afternoon. Andy Rabbit says, make a big candle, Verna. Ha ha. David Lister says, hi, Verna. Hi, David. Yeah, says, I converted an old baby bed into a quail pan and put it in my greenhouse. Seems like the quail absolutely hate it, but it beats letting them freeze outside. I agree. John says, what floor are you on, Verna? Maybe people under you will heat and heat rises up for you too. Yeah, I'm on the top floor, but if we lose power, that means they lose power too. And the guy that lives below me doesn't have the ingenuity that I do. Steve says, if Verna won't have heat, those below her won't either. You got it right, Steve. He'll probably come up and bring his dog to me and say, Verna, how are you staying warm? Oh. Yeah, because if we don't have electricity, the igniter on the gas stove won't go on. And he says, I hope I don't lose power. I have 40 babies in the brooder. I have 14 in the brooder. And mine hatched on Saturday, so you know they're not very old. Friday night, Saturday morning. Let me see if I can show you one of my babies. They're right behind me. See? This is got the black spot on the back of its head. And he's got good ears. Okay. And he says, yeah, mine hatched a day later than yours. Nikki says, yeah, I have 30 on lockdown and 100 to energy lockdown Friday. And he says, oh, cuteness. Nikki meant they enter lockdown on Friday. David says, we spent our last 4 years with the U.S. Air Force just north of you at Wright Patterson. Yeah, I know Wright Patterson ain't very far away, but it's a long way to walk. Nikki says, aw. And he says, way to go, Nikki. Yeah, this storm is going to be a lot worse than what they had last year when they had that polar vortex go down and hit Colorado and Utah and all them. This is going to be a lot worse because it's going to hit the whole country. And he says, I'm glad you got a decent hatch, Verna. Last I knew, it was still 3. No, I got 14, and that's not a decent hatch. I had problems with my incubator again. Better than 3, though. Yeah, you got that. Right. Because my luck, if it was just 3, it'd be all boys. Andy agrees with me. Now, do any of you have more animals than just quail and rabbits? And what are you doing to keep them safe during this 3-day cold spell? If I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be 3 days long. Yeah, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Ohio, at least. The Monday is going to be up to 26, and then by next weekend it'll be in the 50s. She says, my first hatch, I had 6 girls out of 25 total. I know that's so bad. And he says, but I had a hatch of 5. One didn't make it, so out of 4, I have 3 hens and 1 roux. Hey, that's good. You got a breeding set. David says, all of ours are in our quail shed, still getting more eggs than we know what to do with. Do Dalmatians count? Yeah, they're well, do they live outside? Are they your livestock guardian dogs? Now, I have a dog and she goes wherever I go. And he says, yes, a 40-acre farm, and we've got quite a few of just about any farm animal you can think of besides pigs. So, Andy, did you get everything ready for the winter storm that's coming? Jan says, I have a gas stove and will use it for heat if I lose power. See, I don't have that luck. I also have a tent that I will put up in my living room to sleep in. Over the past couple of years, I purchased every wall blanket I can. See, I can't have wall blankets, even though my walls get ice cold. I can't use a wall blanket because of the fighting roaches all the time. John says, my ants were a count of I mean, my adults were a count of 14, all roos, with just 4 hens. The rest are in the freezer. Yeah, yep. Nikki says turkey, chickens, and ducks, dog and cat will stay indoors. Chickens will stay locked down. Turkeys coop wrapped with tarp. That's good. David says, nope, they are in, out pups. And there is Bruno. Hello, Vermont Quail. Andy says, I roll the walls down for the rabbits. We stapled feed bags on all the outdoor cages. Jan says, dang, autocorrect. Wool blankets, not wall blankets. But I will be doing that at windows. What I'm doing at the windows is I'm putting 2 mil plastic on it. Nikki says, ducks have a good shelter. Cuz says, hello, Bruno. Hope you are doing well. Andy says, I had some quail. I need to butcher some quail today, trying to get it done before it gets over cold. Andrew says, yes, everything we're ready for the freezing storm, but I don't think we're going to get it hit quite as hard as you guys are. What state are you in, Andrew? Bruno, if you need to talk, you can reach out to me anytime. And I'm sure Steve thinks the same way. Andy says, but I'm hanging out with all y'all. Ha ha ha. I was up all night running my freeze dryer. I did 2 batches of candy. And right now I've got eggplant and 2 apples freeze drying in there. Get as much as I can freeze dried before chance of losing power. Yeah, my helper was supposed to come back last night after he dealt with his ex-wife's furnace, but he didn't come up here after he got back. So he's coming up today because I'm going to need some help with those windows because I get a little, I'm afraid of falling out the window. Ah, San Antonio, Texas. You'll get it, but you won't get as hard as we will in Southwest Ohio. Dawn says, I'm more worried about the intentional planned grid takedown for Christmas that is in the news gossip. Uh, if they do that, they're going to be murdering a lot of people. Bruno says, I have to dispatch a bunch tomorrow at the start of the storm. We are getting mostly rain and 60 to 70-mile winds. Oh boy. Yeah, but yours is going to be changing over to snow if you're in Vermont still. Andy says, I dropped a small piece of orange peel in the guinea pig's cage. Boy, they love it. I will be saving them for them from now on, I guess. Yes, Andy. The Kai need orange peels and a slice of orange because they're like us. They can't produce vitamin C, which they need desperately. Now, I have some orange powder I can mix in their food. Dawn says, I just found out there is a national lettuce shortage. No wonder why we couldn't find any for 2 months. I double up growing it but hydroponically. Yeah, I haven't got my hydroponics going yet. I'll have to wait until after the storm goes through because, that's an electric one. Andrew says, yeah, the weather says we're only supposed to get a frost, but down here no one's used to the cold, so the only thing I'm worried about is the power going out because I have a brooder with some chicks. Andy, do you have a generator? Bruno says, well, it should not turn to snow here. On Lake Champlain, we're always warmer here. Yeah, but with that Arctic front coming in, don't know. Nikki says, hubby is butchering outdoor quail bunch tomorrow when he gets home from work. There's only 6, so he will do it in the kitchen. Yeah, with 6, it'd probably take him about a half an hour at the most to do them. Even if he left the skins on them. And he says, I feed them a lot of bell peppers for the vitamin C. Yellow color is more vitamin C, but green is good too. Yeah, I got to split up. I got 2 bell peppers I got to split up and put in their cages today. Yesterday, I gave them cranberries. John says, can you get set up at Andy Rabbit with a mower or boat battery to run their brooder off? Need an inverter, I think. Well, when summer gets here, I'll be getting an inverter for the 220 to drop it down to 110 so that I can run the air conditioner on it and not have to move anything around. Andy says she don't know. Carolina Kind Family Homestead. Just want to say hello. Heading to my neurologist now. Well, you be careful. Drive safe. And blessings go with you, Carolina. Andrew says, I think so, but I would have to check. Carolina says, much love, my friend. Bruno says, we are going to get a flash freeze Friday night. The cold front will hit here quick and maybe a few flakes. The cold will push the storm out. Now the mountains here will get a dumping. Yep. That's what I'm afraid of because Thursday night the rain starts along with the cold. The cold, I don't remember now. Eddie said, if it happens, I will put rabbits in a box around the babies' cages. They will keep them warm, body heat. You know, that's true. Because I've heard of people using rabbits to heat up their greenhouse in the wintertime. David Lister says, I am not incubating right now, but we have an uninterrupted power source that would help our would help out in an outage. I'm having a lot of pain in my left arm and hand from overusing it. But boy, this cold front has got me worried. Because the last storm we had to go through, remember I had a power outage. It was 4 or 6 hours. And if that happens during the high wind, it will get below freezing in my apartment quick. And he says, I'd seen someone say they had a UPS on the incubator, but the incubator won't turn itself back on. I don't know what incubator it is. Oh, wow. Woman of Spirit says, don't forget to have plenty of water, candles, flashlight. Be safe, everyone. Well, I tell you what, I got 2.5 gallon jugs. I got 4 of those. And I have 3.5 gallons of milk. My freezer's full and my refrigerator's full. David says the biggest worry in this weather is ice that might take out power lines. No ice would be nice. Yeah, but with the rain on our that we're going to get hit with, we're having rain and it's going to flash freeze. Bruno says I have 70 plus in the incubator, and I wish I did not have these in. Saturday is lockdown. I will be ready to wrap it in a blanket. Yeah, keep the blanket very close. What I'm going to have to do with my incubator, I'm going to have to take it apart and fix it. John says, I'll be worried about you, Verna. We will have freezing rain, which usually takes down tree limbs, take down power here. Well, I live in a small town where everything is about um, 20 years behind. I mean, heck, they're dumping their sewage in the river here. C says, there's always pollute, Bruno. Yeah, there's always pollute. And he says, Vermont Quail fund a vehicle with a house plug-in and run it out to plug in. Jan says, Dawn, we get the freezing rain here first, too. Well, we get the green, we're in green first, and then it transfers the freezing rain and snow. Let me see here. See, Thursday's going to be high at 42, and the rain's going to be starting Thursday. Friday, the high is only going to. The wind starts picking up noon tomorrow. Slowly. But it hits hard at 1 a.m. Friday morning. It jumps up to 22 miles per hour, and it just keeps going. So they're showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of snow. And Andy says, fine, not fun. Okay. Barbara Hendricks says, everybody, that's my sister. She's the one that's in Canada. Hi, Verna. We got over a foot of snow with this storm before it headed that way. Hunker down. Yeah, I'll hunker down. I've already put plastic on my windows. Vermont Quail says, I have a big generator if I really need it. We hardly ever get a power outage. Andy says, I have decided the way I'm picking rabbits to butcher is by the cages that have poop in the water bowls. And she says, hello, Barb. Barb says, glad you know I'm that hunker, not hunger. I know, but I have to read what you write and then say it. Jen says, what I find strange is our local weather people did not say anything about the wind chill and snow until yesterday. Now people have lost it trying to get ready. I always watch Ryan Hall, y'all. Is that a YouTuber? Jan? Woman of Spirit is Jan. And Barb, if Rick's there, tell him I'm lighting one up. Oh, he's the Weather Channel. Someone's horn's going off. David Lister says, we spent 20 years in the upper Midwest, Iowa, Minnesota. Best plan is to stay off of the roads and let Dot take care of it before you go out. Andy says, well, I got to head out. Hope you all doing good through the storm. I'll be praying for you. God bless all. Blessings to you, Andy, and have a Merry Christmas if I don't hear or see you before then. Andy says, I thought all cold storms equal wind and ice. Barb says, woman of spirit, it is because they didn't know the exact path until it happened. The models disagree. Well, I've been watching a couple of channels on YouTube that tell about both models, the American and the European models. And you guys, this, I just lost my chain of thought, Barb. Because he says, I watch y'all too. Now I lost that chain of thought. It's totally gone. Oh, well, I light my cigarette. He's a good weatherman. Oh, you watch Hall too. Bruce says, what are they talking here? Is that we're going to get floods, snow melt, and 1 to 2 inches of hard rain. Lunar Spirit says, Barb, that's Ryan Hall on YouTube is a great weatherman. Yep. So I have to dig out my other tea candles. I got those put away, but I got other candles out close by. Vermont says, yeah, 55 Fahrenheit, not good for the back roads and main roads. Barb says, Rick isn't here. He is out Christmas shopping for me. Yeah, I wonder how many gifts he's going to buy himself, too. Did you already get his, Barb? My Christmas is going to be a week late. John says, Verna, you can take a can of Crisco and stick a cotton wick in the center and light it for several hours of heat and light. I don't have Crisco in my house, Dawn, but I do have a large can of olive oil. And I know how to make olive oil lamps. Barb says, of course. In other words, she's got her shopping done already. Bruno says, Verna and everyone, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Bruno. And keep me posted on what you find out. And blessings be with you. David says, our Christmas was a week early. Went to see the kids in Arkansas, so we avoided the weather. That was smart. What part of Arkansas, David? Andy says, I ordered some candle wicks a few weeks ago. I have a lot of wax to make into candles. Bruce says, I will. January 4th, I had some tests. It's not going to be as bad as people think. Barb says, blessed you all. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. And today is solstice. So blessed solstice to everybody. Mina in West Central. Cool. I used to live in North Little Rock, in Little Rock area, both. Bruno says, well, I hope not. Have faith, Bruno. Andy says, I went to Arkansas Saturday to have Christmas with the kids and grandkids. Or is that Arizona? AR, I'm not sure. Barb says, in other words, happy holidays. We know, Barb. But I thought Arkansas. Everybody knew that it was coming this weekend, so anybody was smart, they would have went last weekend. They would have done their traveling. They're already canceling planes. Jan says Christmas here was gift of homemade bread, cookies, and candy. I have sister of what she needed a bag of potatoes, a bag of corn curls, and a bag of onions. LOL. And he says, I'm glad we did, and I hope they all stay home too. If they have any sense, they will, Andy. David says that, Andy, we may have passed and not know it. I did 2 batches of candy last night. And right now I've got eggplant and 2 apples fit on the tray that didn't fill up with eggplant. Eggplant, when you freeze dry eggplant slices where you got the whole complete round, they make dang good crackers. And she says, yeah, that's what she was thinking, David. See, G-Rose, Urban Homestead are all working today, and I'm still using the cup. It's my tallest cup that doesn't have a lid. Barb says, we have a beautiful but cold day here today. Have to take 10 turkeys out of the freezer and take them to the community center for Christmas dinner. Ooh, Barb, I think you were supposed to take those out of the freezer Tuesday. No, you're right. It's today. If you're going to have Christmas dinner on Christmas, yeah. Barb says the eggplant sounds amazing. I tell you what, Barb, it's better than cooked eggplant. You get the nice slight taste that it has to it. And it's, like I said, it's a no carb cracker. Well, depending on the eggplant, it can be a cracker or it can be, you can use it as a slice of bread when they're about that big around. And he says, I hate getting started to butcher. That is the hardest part for me, but once I get started, I'm good to go then. Andy, for the first year for me, it was the hardest thing for me to do. And it took me 3 or 4 days to recover from doing it. Barb says, we're cooking the community dinner this year. I don't like cooked eggplant. It tends to be mushy. That's why freeze dried eggplant is so great because it's not mushy. It has the texture of styrofoam, kind of like, because most freeze dried stuff kind of has the consistency of styrofoam. But it tastes so good. Andy says, yes, it's a tad hard for sure. Barb says, you can always send some up here, lol. I might do it. It'd be after Christmas, but I might do it. Because I get Misfit Market now. And I'm supposed to have a delivery Friday. We'll see. Barb says, I like rice cakes. They are like styrofoam too. I don't like rice cake because last time I had a Quaker's rice cake, it triggered an allergic reaction, which meant it has MSG in it, even though they don't say it. Nikki says it's just 30 degrees out, but brr. I have 40 degrees out right now. David says, do any of you can your quail meat for storage? Okay, go to the live stream Sew and Tear because Katrina did one. Oh, let me see. I'll give you the link to her channel in just a second. And just put in canning rabbit and quail. She canned them both. Just a minute. Take me a minute to find it. I don't can. I cook then freeze dry. Nikki says, got feed bags over coops, leaky windows. Well, I'm putting 2 mil plastic on my windows. I'm taking down these paper curtains and putting the plastic on. Ain't nobody going to be able to see in enough to see anything. So, and he says, so here's a question. I'm getting way more than I need eggs. I have lights on them. If I change times every day or leave them off every other day, would that keep them laying but slow them down? Andy, no, because you'll stress them out completely. Andy, do you have a freeze dryer? If you have a freeze dryer, you can freeze dry those eggs and make them powder. David Lester says, remember, it should be pressure canned as it's meat. Yes, it has to be pressure canned. And he says, at David, same way as canning chicken. Yeah, David, you have to use a pressure can it. And oh, and he says, no, I haven't gotten to my dad's to get it yet. Refrigerate your extra eggs to hold them till you get the freeze dryer from your dad's. And then freeze dry those eggs. Yeah, you mix them up just like you're going to scramble them. Then you pour, well, I think it's 2.5 cups or 3 cups in each medium-sized tray. Nikki says you can freeze the eggs in ice trays and then put in freezer bags. That's true. C says, Andy Rabbit, give me the address and I'll go pick it up and hold it for you. Andy says, I have an Excalibur dehydrator. Yeah, I think that's what I have, but I don't, I've used it once or twice. That's about it. David says, no chickens here. Also, no freeze dryer. Um, Let me find out. Here we go. I'll give you the links that'll tell you what to do. David Lister, if you go to the link that I'm posting right now, that's the governmental canning place. And they'll tell you how long, because you do it like you do chickens, and how long that you have to pressure can them and everything. Do you have a pressure canner, David? And he says 123 Elf Road, North Pole, 88888. Oh, we got 8 people here and 9 likes. She says I whip the eggs and freeze them in silicone cupcake holders. The mini ones, I think if you do it in the mini ones, that almost equal a whole chicken egg, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, pretty soon I'll have to get into my powdered eggs because I think I got about 2 or 4 dozen quail eggs left over. She says regular ones and do several together in one. Yeah, you fill that bad boy up. Barb says Rick says hi to everyone, especially you, Verna. Hi, Rick. I hope you got her something good. And he says, I'm going to have to freeze some or something. My friend says I have given him too many eggs. There's no such thing as too many to me. Barb says he was on the phone. He had to ask my gene size, so I guess I know what I'm getting. You know what 1,000 is at least. David says, yes, on the pressure canner. Thanks for the site. Even though you like to argue with me in the groups, David, I still give you help. I like a good argument. When it's a silly argument, I just ignore it. And Steve just smiles. Bob says, you are just a helpful person and you love to argue. Not as much as you do, Barbie. Even when you know someone's right, you like to argue. Just to play the devil's advocate. That's kind of what David does. He tries to play the devil's advocate. But David's a pretty good guy. And he says, arguing with a smile is fun. A lot of times you don't see me smile, but you'll see it with twinkle on my eye when I'm up to something. You know, if it's a good argument where there's no name calling or degrading and you're using opinions or facts and you know the difference, that's good because that's why you can open your each other's minds up a bit. It's when you put emotion into it that it's no longer an argument, it's a temper tantrum. Barb says, those of you who think you know it all are annoying to those of us who do. Just kidding. That's what my mom used to say. And I just say sometimes words are better left unsaid. Just a second. Okay, I'm on live stream right now. That's my downstairs neighbor. She says, I feel picked on at Barbara Hendrickson. Ha ha ha. Yeah, you didn't come back last night.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't feeling good.
Oh, okay. How are you feeling today?
Wonderful.
Jan says, one of my favorite lines to use is, oh, that's interesting. Enough said. One thing that I like to say when I get tired of it is, well, everybody's allowed to have their own opinion. And opinions are like your rectum. Everybody's got one. Barb says, I love that, Jan. And it says, one of my favorite lines is, I understand. Well, when my temper's coming up, I just say okay and walk away. But my kids used to say the worst things was is if mom suddenly gets quiet, run. Gail, hello Gail. Hi everyone. I've been here, just been listening on Bruno's laptop. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Gail. Caesar's I answer with my eyes. Roll, yeah. Somebody said something to me the other day, and I said if I roll my eyes any harder, they're gonna fall out. Jan says, with my kids, I'll say yes, sweetie, or babe, I understand, and remember, I love you. David says, your dog just woke up my dog, Saffron. Yeah, Bill got up here quietly, and Lucy didn't hear him, so when he's in the, she didn't even hear him open the door. It wasn't until I said something to him that she got woke up. Barb says, my kids used to say, if you think mom should be mad and she is calm, run. C says, are you doing coffee Saturday, Christmas Eve? Yeah, I'll be doing it Christmas Eve if I have electricity. Gail says, hi, Andy. Happy holidays to you. Barb says, hi, Gail. Lunar Spirit says, Barb, That's a classic. Simple Living says, I'm driving in a minute, but we'll listen in. And Gail says, hi to Barb. Simple Living, what state are you in? Oh, you got a box of garbage bags in there.
Where?
I don't know wherever you moved them.
Oh,
He's up here doing the Kai's cages. Looks like you are almost done. No, no, no. I started at 1. I go for another hour. Oh, Eastern Washington. Okay. Because the other Simple Living that I know of is in Idaho. Because you're not the Simple Living whose daughter sings, are you? Barb says, where in Eastern Washington? I live 3 hours from Spokane. Simple says, Simple Living says, I used to live in Idaho. And he says, you mean Kevin and Sarah? No, Kevin and Sarah are in the Ozarks. They're in Missouri. That's Living Traditions. That's not Andy. Living Traditions is Kevin and Sarah. Simple Living says, I'm moving to Pomeroy right now in Richland. How bad is the storm where you're at, Simple Living? I had to put that on the floor on that one cage because you did the lining wrong, and the rabbits were pulling the lining through the cage.
oh, that one
Yeah.
came on fire.
Instead of either paper or wood chips, use a little bit of that horse lining. Hold on, I'll be right back, you guys. Right here. Do a very, very light layer of this. Because this will swell off when it gets wet, and it absorbs all the moisture.
Oh,
Horse beds. I'm in horse stall bedding. Davis has got to run. My beautiful wife has lunch ready. Have a wonderful Christmas, everybody, and stay safe. You have a wonderful Christmas, David, you and your family, and blessings be with you and stay safe. Simple Living, brutal cold. Tomorrow, freezing rain and snow tomorrow. Okay, because Barb is north of you and she's already got a foot of snow from it. And he says, haha, you're right on the name. They are less than an hour from me. I bought some of their silver foxes a couple years ago. See, I know what stations I watch. And he says, Merry Christmas, David. I don't think he's going to marry Christmas, but he'll have a Merry Christmas. Got to teach you on your spelling there, Andy. Darn autocorrect. Just say autocorrect provides me with some chuckles. And he says, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Yep. Lunar Spirit says, dang autocorrect got Andy. Give him an E. And he says, it's always autocorrect. Barb says, had to look up where Pomeroy is, south of Spokane. You got to blame it on technology. Yeah, but see, technology is only as good as the programmer. And the programmers say it's only good as the operator. But see, I say it's all good. It all depends on the programmer, because the programmer should think about human error. Simple Living says, "Where do you live, Barb?" Okay, you guys, I'm going to be back. I need some more coffee.
You want?
What did you say?
In the baby's cage, you want chips now?
No, I want that. All the cages, all the pedigree cages, I want you to use that. A light layer of that horse bedding.
Okay.
A very light ladder, because that it'll be 10 times as heavier when it gets full.
Right. Okay.
Let me see. Excuse me, Lucy. No, you put more than that on it.
You want to go back to
Go ahead. They're used to me getting up in that. Alrighty, I'm back. John says, I'm still listening and working. That's good. Wait a minute. Barb says, when I used to talk to text, it never types what I think I'm saying. Does that mean I don't say it right? LOL. Don't know, Barb, according to them. John says, I'm still listening and working. She says coffee, and Steve is my good waiter. He hands everybody coffee. Barb says, I live in Greenwood, British Columbia, Canada. Go up 395 from Spokane to Christina Lake and turn west. C says, I think some was hot chocolate just in case. Simple Living says, beautiful. Barb says, I sell a lot of hot chocolate at the rink to adults and kids, mostly adults. Andy says, you should have seen the first year my son's new wife got a text saying that my oldest daughter was bringing James, not him, for Thanksgiving dinner. It came through was to eat. I tried to buy ham this weekend and I couldn't get it because they didn't have any in the store. So I think we'll have Quail instead. Ed got Bates in here. Hi, Verna and everyone else. Good morning, Ed. Simple Lovey says, beautiful area you live in, Barb. And Steve tells Ed good morning. The lady who bought the hams for our dinner got them at Costco. Yeah, but there's only one brand of ham that I know is safe for sure, and that's Cook Ham. The brand name is COOK. Andy says, but how does it know that I am? Haha. Barb says, yes, Simple Living, it certainly is. It says, had a PT nurse here, and she just left. I'm worried about when that heavy wind hits. I don't handle a lot of wind very good. And he says, hello, Ed. And he says, I don't want the wind either. Well, see, with the wind on me, it triggers me. Just a second, guys. I got to get rid of a bot. And he says, oh, Barb says, I stayed in for 2 days because of it. I have to get out today. I'm running behind because I'd rather talk to you guys than go out in the cold. I don't blame you, Barb. And he says, that's why I moved all the quail into one cage for winter. Steve says, bots are stupid. They can't do links or pictures. Bruno says, well, I got to go. Gail says, says bye too. Goodbye, Gail and Bruno. You guys have a blessed Christmas and stay safe. Ed says, I like wind, but not snow. Well, I like to look at snow and drive in it, but I don't really want to get out in it. Barb says, it's -3 here. Andy says, Barb, I'm putting off butchering to hang out here too. And Bruno says, Santa Claus and Christmas trees. John says, everyone have a Merry Christmas. You have a Merry Christmas too, Don. And he says, later, guys. C says, bah, humbug.
Amen.
And Ed says, brr, Barb. For those, Ed, that Barb is my sister. So what I'll do, Bill, since I couldn't get ham, what I'll do is Friday night I'll take quail and put it in the defrost in the refrigerator. Ed says, where's she at? North Pole? She's just about an hour or so above Spokane, Washington. John says, I'm still listening. Just wanted to wish them Merry Christmas because I can't be here for each one. Just working and listening. Cool. C says, Western Canada on the way to Alaska. Barb says, not quite, lol. Yeah, the temperature feels like it right now, Barb. And you can't blame it on the North Pole because it's the Siberian front instead of an Arctic front. So yeah, Siberia gets colder than the Arctic. Barb says about 1.5 hour north of Spokane, right on the border. That says 46 here. It's 41 here, Ed. We're only 5 degrees cooler than you. Echo, what's the wind chill right now?
Right now, the wind chill is 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, expect it to feel like 27 degrees.
Barb says, but you have to drive about an hour west along the border to get to my town. Steve says, I got 49, Ed. And he says it's 42 here right now. We see Saturday we're going to be in the storm. I'm still going to be live, doing my live stream in the morning. But it's next Wednesday when I'll find out how everybody, Tuesday night and Wednesday when I find out how everybody made it through the storm. Versus normally our winter temps don't dip below 20, but this is not a normal year.
Quit. Stupid.
What's going on?
She's eating your
Lucy, out of there now. Go lay down. Lucy thinks that they're not gerbils, they're kai, or guinea pigs. She thinks their poop is edible. Barb says we get below freezing, but not below zero. And she says, no, this has not been a normal year at all. Last year, it was the western states that got the Arctic blast, what they call it, the Arctic vortex. This was bad enough they named it like a hurricane. I think they call it Elliott. Winter Storm Elliott. Barb, what's the most snow you get at a time usually before this one? And he said, that means I'm going to have to wear shoes and socks. Ed says, I have cherry tomatoes and asparagus still in the freeze dryer. Have 50 plus hours on them. Oh my goodness. That's a long time, Ed. Barb says, this year Vancouver on the coast got lots of snow. Even Florida is expecting below freezing temps. There goes the oranges. No, Barb, they get below freezing in the orange groves. They have to at least once a year. That's what makes the oranges go sweet. And but they usually build little bonfires around the tree trunks. Ed got mate says little black jelly beans. Mmm, good. I love licorice jelly beans. And Andy's laughing. Ed, last night I did 2 batches of candy, and right now I have eggplant and apple in the freeze dryer. I got 3.5 trays of eggplant and I got 2 apples sliced up. Ed, you need to take a picture of what happened to the little black jelly beans and post it to my Facebook name. Oh, you're talking about um, the Kai poop. Okay. That says great iguanas falling from the trees in Florida. And he says he wasn't talking about the dogs eating the poop. Yeah, I think he was, but it took me a minute before I realized that's what he's talking about. Because I love black licorice. And so I took it as that's what he was talking about. But Lucy's being a good girl. She's staying in her cave. Oh, did I show you guys what I got from Brooke? I got a keychain of quail feathers. And I got a heart full of quail feathers. And Grafted Branch Homestead sent me a quail keychain, some jerky, and a quail notebook that I'm using to keep my quail information in. Oh, Ed said I kind of overloaded the trays, LOL. 8.5 pounds of tomatoes on 3 trays, and 5 10-ounce cans of asparagus for your wife's dad. Yeah, that's overloading. It may take you 3 days to get that done. John says, when I was little, my grandpa took rabbit poo, wrapped it in a Tootsie Roll paper, and tried to get me to eat. My little brother fell for his trick. That says, yeah, poop. C says, I think I'll move to Sitka, Alaska. Average winter temperature is 48 degrees. Barb says, we can get 2 feet in one day. Usually we don't, but we have. By the end of the year, we usually have snow piled up on the sides of the road about chest high where they put the snow when plowing. Barb says it takes a month of above freezing to get rid of the snow. That's cool. All those gifts are awesome. Yeah, well, the ones I got from Grafted Branch is I won one of their contests. And he says dry poop will burn emergency heat. I got plenty of oil, Andy. Barb says the gifts are cool. The gifts of all those quail feathers, that was a lot of feathers that Brooke must have did a lot of plucking when she did her birds. And he says, I meant dry rabbit poo. Well, see, the Kai poo is the same as rabbit poo, but he right now he takes off. I don't have a place to dry it out, so right now that stuff could be wet from their urine. Bar says, I love the color of the crochet you're working on in the background. I think that's already done. Yeah, those are already done. I just got to sew them together. Those are boots, slippers, booties, close to adult size. I got that pair there. I've got a pair of these and a pair of this color. Jen says, one have a Merry Christmas, blessings all around. You too, Jan. You have a beautiful Christmas and blessings all around and stay safe through this storm, Elliot. Winter Storm Elliot. Barb says, nice talking with you all. I had to get in the shower and get my day started. You have a blessed day, Barbie. And a Merry Christmas. She says, they named the storm Elliot. Yeah, they named it Elliot. That it's big enough that they had to name it. Barb says, I had to clean up after my cane corso pup who likes to shed my recycling all over the house before I move the turkeys. Merry Christmas, all. Simple Living says, Merry Christmas, Barb. Barb says, talk to you later, sis. Okay, sis, give me a call when you have time. If my phone made it up. Okay, my phone's fully charged. I can unplug that. That says, great ET is going to show up now. LOL, Elliot. She says, if I take the turkey out of the fridge, it'll be warmer than inside the refrigerator. Ha ha ha. I gotta take a couple packs of quail out of the freezer Friday, so I can fix them for Sunday. Well, I think at the half hour mark, we're going to call it a day, so we can all finish getting prepared for the storm. Lucy, hush! Dog never listens. Enough! Cage now! Cage! What'd I say? One second. Someone's at the door. Say move. No, make sure she gets in. I'm on the live stream right now.
Come on.
Pharmacy delivered my medicine. Have a blessed Christmas. John says, Verna, does frozen quail taste different than fresh quail? No, not when you thaw it out. I don't eat it raw. She says, oops, meant warmer in the refrigerator. That says, yes, they are very cold and hard to eat, Dawn. Lucy doesn't find a problem with them because I give her frozen quail. Steve says, I think the flavor is all on how you cook it and if the fresh quail was allowed to rest a day or two. Yeah, at least a day or two before you freeze them. No, I just take with Lucy's quail. I just give the bloodless call on the quail and then put them in a vacuum bag, then vacuum pack it. And then when it's time to give it to Lucy, I just take it out of the freezer, open up the bag, take out the frozen quail, and hand it to her. She likes it better when it's frozen because that make her have to chew more. John says, I wonder if fresh quail is more tender. I've always eaten fresh, but many are in the freezer. John, as long as you let them wait a couple days before you put them in the freezer, they should be just as tender as when you first did it. Now, if you put them in the freezer after not letting before the rigor mortis was gone, it's going to be some tough quail because it all depends on the rigor mortis, not where you stored them. Ed says, is that quail peeping in the background, Verna? Yes, Ed. I got 14 jumbo white wing chicks. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you guys. I weighed the quail, and the average weight of a freshly hatched quail is 10.06 grams. She says, I had a quail pass and I got lazy and tossed it into the woods for the wild animals. My cat found it and brought it home and shared it with the dog. Well, at least your cat knows how to keep peace in the family. Dawn says, okay, thank you. I always give them 24 hours in the fridge and then I vacuum seal them. I save one or two for dinner. Andy said she was wondering if there would be any difference in fresh, never frozen quail, too. As long as you let the fresh quail rest until the muscles are supple again and you can move the joints, then it's going to be tender whether it's fresh or frozen. Alrighty, y'all, it's 2:30, so I think it's time for me to head out. Everybody have a blessed Christmas and stay safe in this weather. I'll see you Tuesday night. No, Saturday morning's the next one. I'll see you Saturday morning. If you have time in your busy Christmas schedule. Blessings, everyone.